Amnesty International has released its annual report on the state of the world's human rights. Its Secretary-General, Agnes Callamard, condemns Israel's war on Gaza. She says the world has been made audience to a live-streamed genocide as Israel killed thousands of Palestinians, wiping out entire multi-generational families, destroying homes, livelihoods, hospitals and schools. She also adds 2024 will be remembered for how Israel's occupation grew, ever more brazen and deadly, as the US repeatedly vetoed UN Security Council resolutions calling for a ceasefire. And finally, Callamard says Israel and its powerful allies, particularly the United States, claimed or acted as if international law did not apply to them, willfully ignoring orders of the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court. Well, Agnes Callamard joins us now. She's the Secretary-General of Amnesty International. She is standing by for us in Brussels. Thank you so much for being with us here on Al Jazeera. We appreciate your time. The world has been made audience to a live-streamed genocide. I mean, that's an incredibly powerful statement. What impact has that had since you've released this report?
Well, sadly, the State of the World report that we have just issued is the most alarming report we have ever issued. And at the heart of it is, of course, our assessment of Israel genocide in Gaza and our assessment of the complicity of the most powerful state and of the breakdown of international law and of the international human rights system. Those countries who exactly 80 years ago have come together to champion the creation of a new system, of a new era, are now vandalizing everything that they constructed over the last 80 years, with the United States leading that process. That vandalization, that destruction is taking place on the bodies of Palestinians, and the battleground is Gaza, but also international justice. We are sending an alarm. The situation has never been more serious for Gaza, for Palestinians, for Israelis, but for the world. We are on the edge of an abyss.
And like you say, despite that, many people are not listening or are completely ignoring what is going on. Israel called proceedings at the International Court of Justice a circus. Do you think that there's a risk now that the international rule of law is being diminished or ignored even? How would you describe it?
Absolutely. We are at a critical historical juncture, and there is big risk that we move into historic devastation, a change of era without any plan B. We're destroying right now every institution that is supposed to protect peace and security globally. Not perfectly, we know that, but they did play a certain role, and there is nothing to replace them. The United States is leading that destruction. The sanctions that the President Trump imposed on the International Criminal Court is an example of how governments, powerful governments, are destroying this international rule of law. And what is replacing it? It is a rule by the weapons and a rule by profit.
You mentioned the United States and obviously Israel. I mean, do you have any contact or communication with either of those governments? I mean, is there any dialogue at all at this point in time between Amnesty International?
Of course. There is an attempt of dialogue on our part. Every report that we issue, every allegation that we issue, we send it to Israel or to the United States. But today, the Israeli authorities issued a very ridiculous reply to our findings, accusing us of being anti-Israelis and not understanding that Israel is fighting terrorism. They went as far as saying that everyone that is targeted in Gaza is a terrorist. We know very well that over 2/3 of all the victims are women and children. So, yes, we dialogue, but the dialogue is not very constructive. And we are actually calling on governments in Europe and in the Arab world to do far more than what they are doing right now. It is not enough to to speak up. You really need to act. There needs to be a far greater sanctioning of Israel and of the United States for the genocide. They are violating the Genocide Convention, which requires to prevent the crime of genocide. Again, I want to insist on the fact that the situation is extremely serious and we need to see far more happening. Yes, we have seen the ICJ, International Court of Justice, acting, and they are meeting today, and it is great, but that Agnes, is not enough.
We really do appreciate your time. Thank you so much, Agnes Callamard, Secretary General of Amnesty International. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.